Hello everyone and welcome to another Signify session. Today we are joined by Hila Fish, who is a senior DevOps engineer. Welcome. So we're going to dive into the questions. The first one that I want to ask is, what motivated you to pursue a career to become an engineer, and how did you get started?
So it all started out, I would say, when I was 12 years old. You remember the floppy disks that we had back then?
I do.
So my first memory of it was with me coming to my friend's house with this box of floppy disks just to install a game or to install Windows 95 or something like that. So I already loved dealing with computers back then. And then it was just like a natural evolve because when I joined the army, we have like this mandatory army in Israel where I live, and you can choose two paths, either like a combat path, to protect our country, which, as you can see these days, it's much more needed than ever, and a path like people like me that have a back that pains, back pain and stuff like that, which is, it's better not to trust me with anything that is combat. So better utilize my mind. So for people like me, there was this path of doing things that are related to like office things. So naturally, I went and became my first role was help desk technician, which basically means to, hey, put like a memory card in this computer and install me this software, this and that. So that was my first role, but I was always curious and always wanted to learn some more. And in my specific position, I was in a place where I worked alongside with people from HP, the company Hewlett Packard HP. They had this project in the army. So I always went to the citizens, because I was in the army, so citizens. So I always went to the HP people and said, hey, what are you working currently? And can I help? And can you offload something to me? And stuff like that. So because I was super curious and because I got to do some mini tasks and to help them, then after I got discharged, because I was 2 years in the army and then my duty is over. And afterwards, I was completing my duty. The team leader basically offered me a position in HP. And then I started out as a system admin. And then just it progressed naturally. So I would say what led me to it is opportunity plus being curious and showcase my desire to learn and to help.
Yes, absolutely. So from what you've said, the passion has always been there even since 12 years old.
Definitely.
Amazing. My next question that I have is, what would you say the key principles and practices of being a DevOps infra engineer, and how do they help teams deliver better software faster?
So I would say you have to be a technical person, but you always have to think outside of the box, because the whole idea of DevOps is not really I'm sure you heard it by now. It's not really a job description. It's a culture. And it's something that I feel in the day-to-day, because it's definitely something that you need to embrace. So if I was asked to do X, but doing and implementing this X, I notice some things that could be better, some things that if I change it, it will be better for the application, for the infrastructure, for the clients. Then I shouldn't be like, okay, but I was asked to do X. No, I need to say, okay, X is good, but raise my concern or raise my idea or suggestion about how to improve this X, and then provide a better solution. So for me, this is what DevOps is. It's, you need to automate things, and we have these cool things of Kubernetes and making things and create things, but it's all about the culture and improve the software development cycle by reviewing the solutions, reviewing implementations, reviewing the client's request, and not just do it blindly, but say, okay, but I think we can do it better. And based on the requirements, because the clients always have requirements, but they can suggest solutions, but it's not it doesn't mean that they know what they are asking for. It doesn't mean that they know that what they ask for is the best solution. That's why I'm here for. So I always ask for the requirements. I ask if they have like a suggested solution, but I always say like, okay, wait, based on your requirements, I feel like, not a feel, I think that we should do X, Y, Z in order to have a proper and best implementation.
I understand that. And have you got any examples that you might be able to share about how applying some of the DevOps principles has improved a project or an organization?
Yeah, so basically the fact that I'm constantly in a mode of collaborating, because this is all about, DevOps is all about collaboration, communication, making things better and improve things and processes, then basically it helps anything. So just an example from today, actually, there was this implementation of a tool that we have, and I wasn't part of it. I wasn't the one to deploy it. And since we have this on-call rotation, which means that it doesn't matter what you did, you have an alert, you need to fix it, and you need to take care of it. Then I got an alert about this tool that I didn't implement. And during the fixing of the issue, I noticed that there's something I could improve, meaning the application runs on port X, and we have another service that is not actually used, that also, if it runs on the same port. And then for some reason that service, even though we're not using it, got started, occupied the same port, and then caused issues. So I could say, yeah, I will just stop the service, maybe disable the service, and that's it. Or I can say, okay, let's see how we can how we prevent it from happening again for the all other clusters that we have with this tool, meaning either change the port for the application and see what it involves, if we need to change clients, what are the efforts are needed to do so. Maybe we just, since we don't use the service, let's demote it entirely from all our servers. So do and like take the extra mile in order to make sure that we improve our systems, we improve the cycle of like the clients using the tool, and also make sure that we prevent any issues from happening.
Got you. And would you say that automation plays a role in your job? And if so, are there any essential tools or technologies that engineers would frequently use for automation?
Yes, automation is definitely a main pillar in our work, because it's all about making the software development cycle improved. And how do we do it? With automation, because we don't want to have anyone do manual work. We are not in the 90s anymore. So anything to help developers do their job, like CI, all the concept of CI was invented, so developers will have a fast and automated solution to push their code to dev and then to production. So CI is for dev, CD for production. Developers have issues with XYZ. Let's check if there are any automation tools that they can use that will help their pain points. So automation really is a crucial part in the day-to-day work. In terms of tools that I'm using, so I'm mostly using Terraform to create and automate the infrastructure creation. I'm using either Jenkins in one job, GitLab CI in another job. And there's also and there are a lot of tools for CI/CD, Circle CI, TeamCity. So basically, every company need to choose the best option for them. Python is a good solution to basically write anything that I need to provide tools or solutions or anything for the developers. So these are the main tools that I'm using.
Okay. And how would you say that companies can foster a culture and encourage collaboration among development and operations teams?
That's an interesting and maybe hard to answer question, but I will try my best. So how they can help and foster this culture? culture is something that is hard to embrace because it's exactly that. It's a culture. It's not a tool that you just learn the ropes of that tool and that's it. Culture is something that needs to either fit or not fit. And so the way that I would suggest to improve embracing the DevOps culture is by creating like opportunities. So for example, if developers and DevOps or infrastructure engineers have shared projects, then they can help each other. It will make them collaborate, and then it will create the base that they need in order to do it later on. Because once we collaborated once, it should be easy enough to collaborate again on the next time, or not even to collaborate, but to be inclined. Because a lot of times you ask for something and then I have other priorities, but once you collaborated first, you start to develop this tendency, and then you are more inclined to help and to collaborate than before. So creating opportunities by creating shared projects between either DevOps and developers, or even between developers to create this culture of collaboration could really help. I think that's my only solution for now, but maybe I will think about something later on.
And what would you say are some potential common challenges and pitfalls that organizations might face when adopting DevOps, and how could they overcome them?
I would say exactly that. So if collaboration is not something that is prominent in the day-to-day, then it will be hard to adopt DevOps, because, okay, yeah, we go and we install tools to help us with automation. We do this, we do that. But if there's no collaboration, if the DevOps engineer doesn't go to ask the developers, what are your problems? Tell me your problems. I want to fix your problems. Or the developers don't raise flags because of country cultures. Some people are more like, I don't know, Americans say like everything is great, but no, it's not great. You feel so. Some cultures are more inclined to say, I have an issue, please fix it, and as opposed to others. So even that could affect that. So we need to basically say that, hey, we are here for the same reason. We want to help each other. So if there are issues, it's not blame. That's maybe something that people are afraid of. They think that if I will raise an issue, it means that I'm blaming you for not doing your job. It's not the case, because sometimes a solution that you provided a year ago was fit to the circumstances of what happened last year, but it's not relevant for now, which is okay because everything is evolving. So say, okay, we had this solution until now, but now I have issues with this solution because XYZ. Raise this concern with me, with the team, and let us know, and then we will be able to provide you better tools. So it's all about raising concerns, collaborating in a way that I need to know your pain points. DevOps needs to go to developers and say, what are your pain points? Developers needs to go to the DevOps engineers and say, hey, I have these pain points. And then I would say it will help the DevOps culture be much more you find the word.
Yeah, and do you know what? You're so right, and that does just go to show how important collaboration is, you know, in any business, and I think specifically within sort of engineers and across businesses. The next question I've got is, what advice do you have for individuals looking to start a career as an engineer or enhance their existing skills?
You mean like if they want to start working for it, or just?
Yeah, so I think if you've got anyone that's maybe looking to start out their career as an engineer, obviously there's lots of different routes in. Have you got any advice for people that are looking to start out, or if they're looking at the moment to potentially upskill their knowledge?
Okay. So I would say the best, I don't know if the best thing, but something that really will help them both get a job and also improve their skills is to contribute to open source. Open source is basically the same as working in a workplace, just without the pay. So you would learn a lot from contributing to open source, how to communicate with people over a pull request and over an issue, and how to get into an existing code base and learn how to and learn what everything does and how you should enhance it for any features or any bug fixes. So if you have the time, I really recommend going into a certain open source project or library. There are a lot of online material about how to find the first good issue. Even some projects have documentation about that, like these are our first good issues, and then they help people go and get into that project more easily. So you can find first good issue to contribute, and then start that way in order to contribute to open source. And then I can assure you that it will both level your skills, but also will separate you from other forgot the word, like other candidates.
Yeah, being able to stand out obviously does definitely make a difference, whereas if it's a sort of a crowded job market, for sure.
Exactly, because not everyone contributes to open source. So if you do, I can assure you, you will stand out and you will have something to talk about in the job interview. Because usually what we are asked in job interviews, tell me your project, latest project or a project that you are proud of. Let me know how you did this, how you did that, stuff like that. So if you contributed to open source, you have a project to talk about, and the fact that it is open source will definitely give you some points for that.
Absolutely. And final question, are there any events or meetups that you're looking forward to attending this year? I know we've only got a month left, or in 2024?
So I'm also a public speaker. I really love to talk about DevOps related things, incident management, open source adoption, how to manage projects efficiently for developers and DevOps and stuff like that. So I have a conference coming up called DevOps Vision. It will be in Tampa, Florida on December 4th until the 6th. I will deliver a lot of sessions there. It will be crazy. I have like 6 sessions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every session is like an hour and a half. I hope that people can make it. I will give them a break for sure. I'm not gonna force them to stay an hour and a half to listen to me. So, but overall, it's like 6 sessions bundled together. So it will be a lot of content, and I really look forward to share all this content with the attendees and hear their thoughts about it and how they tackle challenges in their workplace. So I'm looking forward to it. So that's from that perspective. Other events that are always nice to pay attention to are KubeCon, SRECon, very good conferences about infrastructure. Also, I really love the GDG events, which the Google Developers Experts events. I was lately in one of them in Nantes, in France. It was very good. So there are a lot of conferences and events to look up to, and not to look up to, but to look forward to.
Yes.
And go to attend them, because you can both learn from the sessions, but really the most important thing for me for events is the community. This is your opportunity to network with people, listen how people do things differently from in other companies. So definitely good opportunity to do that.
Yes, and that probably comes back around to that collaboration and being able to collaborate with others and your peers at events. You know, it's an absolute no-brainer to be able to do that face-to-face with people, for sure.
Yeah, it's a win-win. You talk to people, then like the minimum that will happen is you have fun if you have a nice conversation, and the maximum that could happen is you would maybe find your next job opportunity through these talks, or you will talk to sponsors in the event, and then, hey, this tool is exactly what we need in our current workplace. Let's adopt it. So there are a lot of things that could happen, good things that could happen from this networking.
Absolutely. Well, we're really looking forward to a very busy 2024 of events, for sure. So that concludes all the questions. Just want to thank you for coming on today on Signify Sessions. Really appreciate your time.